For this class, please be sure that you have a chair within reach and a nice thick pillow or a few blankets to prop your hips up on, something that can take the weight of your hips so you'll be elevated. In particular, if you have trouble being on your knees, do really have that chair set up and within reach. Let's begin on our backs. And if you have a couple yoga blocks or you have a couple pillows, I encourage you to bring the blocks or pillows behind the backs of your knees so you can lay down on your back and have your spine in a neutral position. It's like we're beginning class with Shavasana. Let the backs of your hands rest on the floor. And feel the floor support your body. So we're going to begin our practice by chanting Om, but we're going to break up the Om into 3 different sounds. Ah, oo, and mm. And I'm going to have you see if you can hit a tone with the ah, o, so it hits different, like vibrates different areas of the body. The ah will start in the chest. So I find that if I hit kind of a low tone, it vibrates the chest. And then I get a little higher and I go ooh, and it vibrates the throat. So we're going to go ooh in the throat, and then to vibrate the skull. And they'll all be linked together. And if you're like, what? That's okay. Just Om any way you know how, just feeling wherever you feel it in your body. So exhale to prepare. Inhale for ah in the chest, then ooh in the throat, and then in the head. Ah, Let's do that twice more. Last one. Good. Continue laying down just like you are, checking in with how your body and mind, your heart, how you're feeling this morning. And then as you continue to stay in this reclined mountain pose, or this laying down position, I'm going to begin with a poem. I feel like this poem really illustrates the benefits that we can reap from being mindfully aware of how we're physically or emotionally feeling in each moment. It's called Unconditional. Willing to experience aloneness, I discover connection everywhere. Turning to face my fear, I meet the warrior who lives within. Opening to my loss, I gain the embrace of the universe. Surrendering to emptiness, I find fullness without end. Each condition I flee from pursues me. Each condition I welcome transforms me and becomes itself transformed into its radiant jewel-like essence. So staying in this reclined mountain pose, you're welcome to keep the pillows underneath your the backs of your knees if you need that in order so the back doesn't feel tight. If it doesn't bother the back, you can remove the pillows or blocks and start to activate this mountain pose, this standing position as you're laying down. So the backs of the hands are again on the floor, pressing, kind of walking the shoulder blades together underneath you, and the shoulders kind of creep down away from the ears, lengthen the neck best you can, and start to point your tailbone towards your heels. So we're lengthening the low back. Toes are pointing up as the feet are flexed, standing on this imaginary floor, and letting the thigh bones move back towards the floor. In this position, take note of your neck, particularly the back of the neck. And then start to move your chin away from your chest. Notice what happens to the back of the neck as the chin comes away from the chest. And then notice what happens to the back of the neck as the chin comes towards the chest. And then away and towards. So you probably notice that the back of the neck shortens as the chin comes away from the chest, as the throat lengthens, right? And then vice versa. As the chin comes towards the chest, the back of the neck lengthens. I'm going to have you draw your chin towards your chest and press the back of your head into the floor. As you press the outer shoulders into the floor as well, feel the chest expand and broaden. Pressing the back of the head back. And then keep the shoulders pressing into the floor. And slowly turn your head to the left. We'll do this on the exhale. Exhale, head turning to the left. Any amount that feels okay for you. Inhale, come back through center. Exhale, head turns right. Inhale, back through center. Keep doing that with your breath. And just notice keeping the shoulders pinned to the floor as you exhale and head turn. Inhale, back through center. So we're stabilizing the shoulders as we turn the head to find a stretch in the neck. Good. Once more on either side, the exhale is the head turn, chin slightly towards throat, keeping the back of the neck long. And coming back through center. Draw your right knee into your chest. Bend your opposite leg so that the foot is on the floor. Press the back of your pelvis into the mat as you exhale and gently pull the right thigh towards the chest with the arms. Inhale, straighten arms. Knee naturally comes away from the chest a little bit. Exhale, bending, pulling leg to chest. Once more like that. We're just kind of warming up the hips. And now slide the hands behind the back of the thigh and inhale, extend your right heel towards the ceiling, toes peel back, and start to roll the right ankle, big circles with just the ankle, the foot. Go the other direction. And then flex the foot once more. That means the toes peeling towards the face, heel reaching high. Maybe even press the back of the thigh into the hands. And then release right foot to the floor, knee bent. Opposite side, hold on to the left knee. Exhale, drawing that leg a little closer in. Inhale, elbows straighten. It just comes, I don't know, maybe a handful of inches away from the face. Exhale, handful of inches get closer to the chest. And then inhale, straighten elbows. One more time, drawing knee into chest. Press the back of the pelvis into the mat. Slide the hands to the back of the thigh and flex the foot. Extend the left heel towards the ceiling. Feel a stretch in the back of the leg. And then warming up the ankle. Circles with the left foot. And circles Other direction. One more stretch in the back of the left leg. Press the thigh into the hands. Hands press into the thigh. And then release. Okay. We're going to roll onto our left side in like kind of a fetal position. Extend your arms in front of you. Let me see. Can you see what I'm doing? Let's see. Okay. Palms on top of each other. So my arms are in line with my shoulders, extending away, like right out of my shoulders. My thumbs are in line. I guess I can look at my thumbs are in line with my eyes. I want you to imagine that you're laying on the face of a clock. The floor is the face of a clock, and your top arm and bottom arm are extended towards the 3 on the clock. As you inhale, sweep your top arm up towards 1 o'clock and out towards 6. Exhale, sweep it down towards your feet. And then circling back around, glide over bottom arm, and then back inhaling, sweeping up and out towards the 6 o'clock. Just like that, circling your arm overhead and out to the side. As you do this, you come in and out of a twist. Rolling onto the shoulder, and then inhale, sweeping out and up, opening the chest, right shoulder comes towards or to the floor. Keep moving, big circles, biggest circles you can make. Big breath as you circle the arm overhead and wide, and then we're just going to pause in the twist. Arms at a T, chest rotating towards the ceiling, head turning to the right. Second side. Rolling onto your right side into a fetal position, palms stacked, shoulders stacked. Exhale. Inhale, sweep top arm up overhead and out behind you, opening up into a twist, left shoulder coming towards the floor, and then top arm comes towards feet and out over the opposite hand. Big circles. Just like that top arm is the arm of a clock. Perhaps you can even draw the fingers along the floor as you circle the arm overhead and back behind you. Opening to a twist and then closing. Nice, slow, steady breath. Letting this movement feel like a morning stretch. Now, next time you circle the arm out and to the left, pause in the twist. Arms in a T shape, head turning to the left. That left shoulder coming to the floor or heavy towards the floor. Breathe deep and slow. Next, bridge pose variation. Bridge pose. Laying on your back, arms alongside the body, knees bent, feet on the floor. Exhale, press your low back into the mat, and as you inhale, roll up the spine one vertebrae at a time. At the top of the inhale, your hips are in the air. As you exhale, rolling down one vertebrae at a time. Hips are last thing to come down. Again, inhale, rolling up the spine, gazing up. Exhale, roll down. Use your tummy to pull in and press low back to the mat. We're going to do that again, but use this posture to stretch the neck. So as you inhale, roll up the spine, sweeping right arm up overhead and back behind you to the floor. Stay gazing up. And then exhale, powerfully roll down the spine as you extend your right arm away from you towards the bottom of your mat, and turn your head to the left. Feel the stretch in the right side of the neck. Inhale, rolling up. Sweeping now, left arm up overhead, gaze at the ceiling, arm back behind you. And then exhale, roll down the spine and powerfully reach your left arm towards the bottom of the mat as you turn your head to the right. Feel the stretch in the left side of the neck. So we're using the arms to stretch the neck as we come up and down out of bridge pose. Other side, inhale, right arm reaches up, hips lift up. Gaze to the ceiling. Exhale, turn your head to the left as you reach your arm up and towards the front of your mat. Turn your head to the left. Inhale, rolling up the spine. Left arm reaches up and back. Gaze to the ceiling. Exhale, turning head now to the right. Reach, 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 left arm. Rolling down the spine, rear to the mat, feel the stretch. Come back through center and rest. Next, roll onto your belly, preparing for a variation of locust pose. Arms will be alongside the body, forehead to the floor. Walk your legs away from your hips, get really long in the spine. Have your palms facing your thighs. Exhale. And then on an inhale, lift your upper body, arms, draw shoulder blades together while lifting your left leg straight and back behind you. Right leg stays on the floor. Exhale, bring left cheek to the mat, return to the floor. Other side, inhaling, lifting upper body, arms, gaze to the top of the mat. Lift your right leg, straight and strong, strong glutes, broad chest. Exhale, right cheek to the mat, body comes to the floor. Inhale, left leg, upper body, drawing scapula, shoulder blades together and away from ears. As you return to the floor with the exhale, left cheek comes to the mat. Inhale, lifting upper body, broad chest, right leg lifts. Exhale, right cheek to the mat. Return to the floor. Inhale, entire body now lifts up, both legs, arms, chest. Keep the back of the neck long. We want the chin towards the chest. We don't want to shorten it by lifting the chin away from the chest. We want to keep the chin in towards the throat, the head moving back. Breathe. Maybe get a little higher, strong glutes. Your tail pointing towards your heels, long low back. Place hands on the floor now, legs on the floor. With an inhale, come on up to table. And move into cow pose, that back bend. Once again, lifting head and tail, chin slightly down. Exhale, moving rear back, chest to thighs. Moving into a child's position. But we're not going to stop here. We're going to come in and out of child's pose. So with the inhale, come on up through hands and knees into a back bend, cow pose. Chin slightly down, back of the neck long. Exhale, moving back, rear to heels, chest to thighs. This is called Chakravakasana. Inhaling, coming up, hands and knees, looking forward with the chin slightly down. Exhaling, chest to thighs, stretch the back. Let the head go. Pause here now in child's pose.
breathing deep. And then we're going to walk our hands off to the left side of the mat to stretch the right side of the trunk. Each inhalation, breathing into the right ribs. Continue drawing your hips back. And now walking the hands back through center and off to the right. Let's stretch the left side of the trunk. Let your head go. And sometimes that left hip will want to kind of come forward as you do this. Extend the left hip back away from the front of the mat. Breathe into the left ribs. And then coming back through center and to all fours. Come up to a comfortable seat for a second. We're going to next pose move in and out of Vajrasana variation. This is going to be on your knees. If you have find that having a lot of pressure on your knees, standing up on the knees is painful, please grab your chair and have a seat in it. Make sure that your hips are elevated so that they're a little higher than your knees and your heels are directly underneath your knees. You're going to be on the edge of your seat so you have weight in your feet. If you're okay with having weight on your knees, come onto your knees. You can slide a blanket under your knees if you need. You're standing on your knees now, and on an inhale, reach up overhead. Exhale, send your hips back, hinging from the hips, leading with the heart, folding forward. Just a gentle tap of your forehead on the floor as the palms stack face up on your sacrum. Lots of weight in the legs. Inhale, lead with your heart, lifting, reaching up at the top of the inhale, arms overhead, really long, strong hamstrings, strong legs. Hinge at the hips, diving forward. Little tap of the forehead on the floor, palms stack. Keep moving back and forth like that if that's okay for your knees and legs. And now I'm going to show you the variation with the chair. So those of you who can, keep doing that on your knees. Chair folks, sitting on the chair, the edge of the chair. We're going to be doing the same thing. Inhale, reaching out and up. Exhale, hinging from the hip creases. Put weight in your legs. Fold over the legs. Stack the palms face up. And then the inhale, leading with the heart. Broad chest. It's like you're in a back bend as you're coming up. And a back bend as you're moving down, even though you're hinging over the legs. Everybody keep moving in and out of your posture. This is an excellent way to strengthen your glutes and hamstrings. Increases spinal mobility. Keep moving with your breath. And then we're going to land and come on up. We'll all meet in a standing position in mountain pose. In this mountain posture, I'd like you to recall the mountain pose we did at the beginning of the class when we were on our back. Imagine you have the floor behind you. So you want to line your ears up over your shoulders. The back of the head is pressing into the floor behind you. The chin is slightly down. So we're keeping the back of the neck long and the throat open as well. There's always a tendency often to lock the knees. I'd like you to instead keep the knees slightly flexed and point your tail towards the heels, your tailbone towards the heels. Draw your tummy in, your front ribs back, while you vertically lift and lengthen your chest. And again, check to see that maybe you didn't lift the chin up while you're trying to lengthen. Instead of lengthening from the chin, we want to lengthen from the heart. When we lift our chin, the back of the neck shortens. So the chin slightly towards the throat and moving the head back as if we were pressing it into the floor behind us. That can help create space on, more space on the front and the back of the neck. Spiral your inner upper arms forward and then out away from you. Broad chest. And then inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. Exhale, palms come together in front of heart in this prayer position. And then inhale, sweep out and up. reach up. Exhale through heart center. Let's do that one more time. Big breath. Exhaling, hands through this prayer position, Anjali Mudra. Shift your weight into your left foot and gaze at something eye level in front of you. That's going to help your balance. We're going to do a little bit of balance here. So lifting the right heel. You might stay here, just keeping weight in the left foot, warming up that left hip. You might want to lift the right foot completely. Keep breathing, pressing the standing leg into the floor and lifting up out of that hip. Now land the right foot behind you. No, it doesn't have to be super far. Just tap that foot down. And here we are. We're doing like another version of that locust pose that we did on the floor where we had one leg lifted and our chest lifted. We're doing that now standing up. Keep pulling your belly in, your ribs back. Lift your heart vertically. Keeping your gaze on your spot in front of you. Steady with the breath. You might be able to feel a nice stretch in the front of the right hip. And you're always welcome to just bring your fingertips to the wall next to you or onto a chair if you need extra support. Or maybe you decide you want to extend the arms up overhead. What matters most is we want to warm up that standing leg. And now let's start to hinge the chest forward, putting even more weight in the standing leg. Some of you might enjoy lifting the back leg a little bit, moving more into a warrior 3 position. So you can teeter the chest down and lift the leg for more of a challenge. Or maybe that back leg just hovers just a little bit off the floor. Maybe it stays anchored. Most important, you're breathing. One more breath here. And then land the back foot. Turn the back foot out 45 degrees. Hips and shoulders are square, facing the direction you're looking, and roll the shoulders. Roll shoulders. Big shoulder circles. And then we're going to open the chest by interlacing our fingers behind us. You're welcome to grab a strap or a belt if you need it. You could also just bring hands to the hips, elbows bent, and then just try to squeeze your shoulder blades together behind you so you broaden the chest. Watch again that you're not lifting your chin to open the chest. Instead, you're drawing the chin slightly towards the throat and then vertically lifting the heart away from the navel. From here, you're going to hinge from your hips, folding over the front leg on the exhale, and then on the inhale, coming back up again. And we're just going to move forward and backwards like that. As you hinge from the hips, folding over the front leg, you're going to feel the strength and stretch in the front leg. And it doesn't matter how far you come down. What matters is, do you feel balanced? Are you breathing? Are you feeling the strength and the stretch in the front leg? Again, taking the bind that suits you best. Maybe it's fingers interlaced. Maybe it's hands on hips. And then you're going to pause, folding forward and breathing. And then come back up. Shake it out, step forward, mountain pose. Tail lengthen towards the floor. Watch that the knees don't lock. And shifting now your weight into your right foot. Reach the arms out overhead, palms together, and then hands in Anjali Mudra, that prayer position. So keeping that weight in that right foot, let's slowly lift the left heel. Maybe you lift the left foot off the floor. Maybe it lifts high or low. Again, doesn't matter. Are you breathing? Are you staying focused? Feeling the weight in the standing leg lifting up out of the right hip. And then extending left leg back behind you. Just tap that foot down. This locust pose variation. You're broadening the chest. Glutes are strong here. Both legs are straight. You might feel a nice stretch in the front of the left hip. And you're always welcome to extend the arms overhead too if you need more of a challenge here, a deeper chest opener or back bend. Keep breathing. And next, moving into our Warrior 3 variation. You can bring the palms together in front of the heart and start to lean forward a little bit, putting more weight in the standing leg. You might lift that back foot off the floor any amount. You might not. Just keep breathing, feeling that right leg and right hip warm up. The more you lean forward, the stronger sensation you're going to feel, the more balance you're going to have to use. Of course, the more you lift your back leg too as well, it's going to be more challenging. And then let's land that back foot, moving into our variation of Parshvottanasana. Release the arms, roll the shoulders. And then find your arm bind. You are welcome to bring the hands to the hips, squeezing scapula together behind you, broadening the chest, or perhaps interlacing the fingers behind you. As you're ready, the exhale, folding over front leg any amount, feeling the stretch and strength of the front leg, and as the inhale, you come up. These could be big movements, they could be small. Keep your back nice and straight as you do this. Maybe even slowing the breath down if that feels okay for you. Both heels are on the floor for this. And you're going to pause, folding over the front leg, lengthening the back of the neck. Last breath. And then inhale, coming back up again. And step forward and just shake out the arms, shake out the body, release any tension. So for this next pose, I'm going to give two variations. We're going to be standing in a wide-legged forward fold. So our head's going to be lowered and hanging for a little while. If for whatever reason that does not feel like a good fit for your body, I'm going to give a second variation with a chair. So first variation, feet nice and wide, parallel, fold forward, fingertips to the floor or block or books or something. Let your head just hang. Keep your knees slightly bent or bent as much as needed to help the spine unwind and relax, using the weight of your skull to lengthen the back of your neck. Second variation. You'll sit on a seat with your feet wide, sit on the edge of the seat that is, hips higher than the knees, and folding over the legs, letting the head hang again. So this is a good variation if you feel off balance or you tend to feel dizzy when the head is lower than the hips. You don't want to fall. So wherever you are, you're using the weight of that skull again to help traction the neck long. And then start to shake the head a little into yes and no. releasing any extra tension in the face, the neck. And then we'll flutter the lips as we exhale. Take a big breath in. Shaking the head again. One more time. And then rolling up the spine. If you're standing, keep the knees slightly bent. Roll up. Now come to either a standing position or seated position, depending on what version you did. And just take a moment, close the eyes. See if you can feel your heart. Notice your breath. Next is a locust pose variation. Go ahead and move your chair out of the way. Come onto your belly. Once you get down, walk your legs a little further away from your shoulders, seeing how long you can get your spine. And then you're going to bring the arms alongside the body and then stack the backs of the hands once again on your sacrum. Bring your forehead to the mat, and just to heads up, we're going to be alternating arms and legs, but the arms, we're going to do a little salute with our arms every time we do the arms and legs. So I'll talk us through it. Exhale. And then on an inhale, lift your left leg up and back, sweep your right arm out to the side, bend the right elbow, then salute the top of your mat. So hand comes to forehead, and then exhale, turn your head to the left, bringing right cheek to the mat, stacking palms once again, entire body's on the floor. When the inhale arrives, lifting chest, left arm sweeps out, right leg lifts, salute. And then exhale, turning head to the right, left cheek to the mat, return to the floor. Inhale, sweeping right arm, left leg lifts, chest, salute. Exhale, right cheek to the mat, body to the floor. So we're using this to help stretch the neck. Inhaling, right leg, left arm, salute. Exhale, head turns right, left cheek returns to the floor. Let's do that one more time. Inhaling, lift, salute. Exhaling, turning head left, right cheek to the mat. Last side. Inhale, right leg, left arm, strong tummy, salute. And exhale, return to the floor. Bring hands to the mat. Come on up to tabletop, preparing for threading the needle. I'm going to give another variation if threading the needle doesn't work for you, but if you can, come to hands and knees. And on an inhale, you're going to sweep your right arm out and up, overhead, pushing left arm into the floor. This is your twist. And then exhale, sliding right arm through. We're not going to pause just yet. You're just going to kind of thread it through. Inhale, reaching out and up. Here's a twist. Exhale, another twist as you do a little thread through. Let's do that again. Inhale, push left arm down, reach. Exhale, little thread. Keep moving with the breath. And now next time you thread through, land the right shoulder and we'll come in to thread the needle. Lean the hips a little bit to your right. Left arm can bend left fingertips into the floor, any other variation that you like of this. And staying here and breathing, pressing the back of that right hand into the floor. Now, if this variation is too deep, if this is challenging to bring the shoulder to the floor, just straighten right arm, bring it across the body as you bend left elbow, and just bringing it across. So we're separating the right shoulder blade away from the spine. And then you could add a twist by even turning your chest to the left, looking over left shoulder if you like. Wherever you are, keep breathing. And then coming back out of it. Second side, those of you who are doing the gentle version, you know how to go into it. Inhale, lifting the left arm towards the sky. Exhale, threading left arm through. Just moving back and forth first, warming up the spine, warming up the shoulders. Nice strong twist as you press right arm into the floor and reaching left arm up. Keep moving with your breath. And then eventually landing that left shoulder. Left palm is facing up, pressing the back of that hand into the floor, creating more space between that left shoulder blade and the spine. Release your head onto the mat as you lean your hips a little to the left. Soften your forehead. And then we'll all slowly come out of our pose. Find a comfortable seat. You can prop your hips up on a block or something if you're sitting cross-legged. Sit with a tall spine. Feel your breath. And then with an exhale, lower your chin to your chest. Stretch the back of the neck. Inhaling, rolling left ear to left shoulder. Exhaling, rolling chin to chest. Inhaling, right ear to right shoulder. Keep your face relaxed. Exhaling, chin to chest, just like that. Moving back and forth. The inhale, we roll to one shoulder. Heavy head. Exhale, rolling the chin down to the chest. Keep the spine long. Keep moving. And then finishing with the chin to the chest. And lifting the head. For this next pose, we're going to need our chair. So have the seat of the chair facing you. And we'll also need to elevate our hips. We want to find something that's high enough that can help us keep this spine long and tilt our pelvis forward. So if you imagine that your pelvis is a bowl of soup, you want to have the soup spilling out between the legs, not spilling out behind you. And we do this by sitting on the edge of whatever is elevating our hips. It's kind of creating a wedge where it's tilting our pelvis forward. So bring the soles of the feet together under the chair, the knees wide for cobbler's pose. How close the heels are to your groin depends on what is the position of your back and your pelvis. The further your heels come away from your groin, probably the easier it'll be to tilt that bowl of soup forward, your pelvis forward. And then you're going to lean your forehead on the seat of the chair. You can always elevate your forehead by stacking your hands or grabbing a pillow or a block under the forehead if the seat of the chair is still a little too high. The idea is that this is just a gentle stretch. Something that you feel like is supportive and relaxing as we just focus in on our breath for the next few minutes. Let your belly completely relax, your belly and groin, that is. Your face relax. And I'd like you to imagine that your trunk is one big balloon from your pelvic floor all the way up to your collarbones, just a huge balloon. Exhale completely in this posture, forehead still resting on the seat. And then inhale, expanding your belly, your waist, your low back, and then at the top of the inhale, expanding your ribs, your collarbone. Exhale, letting the ribs come in, pushing the breath out through the belly. And then inhaling, feeling the pelvis expand, the low back expand, and then move it up into your upper back. Maybe you can even feel more space between the shoulder blades as you inhale at the top of the breath. And then as you exhale, it comes in, pushing the breath out through the ribs, then the belly. Just like that, let that be all that you have to do right now. Just surrendering to this posture and enjoying a big belly breath and then chest. Letting it leave from the upper trunk and out through the lower trunk. And paying particular attention to the back body too. Big low back breath, upper back breath. And letting it all release, letting it go. A few more breaths here. And then we're going to slowly come up. Now I'd like you to kick your legs out wide, straddling the chair. Let your feet relax. Once again, your pelvis is tilted forward. Feel free to grab anything else to slide underneath your tailbone so that you're really tilting forward. You've got deep hip creases. And then we'll come back to rest on the seat of the chair. This time, hopefully enjoying a stretch to the back of the legs. If your back and your hamstrings are particularly tight, this feels like unbreathable. Sometimes sliding something behind each knee is helpful. You can still get a stretch in the backs of the legs by doing that. Just keeping the knees slightly bent can be a bit of a relief on the low back and hamstrings. So find the position that works for you and then just rest. Breathe. And if you're still experiencing tightness in certain places, maybe imagine you could send the breath into these areas. And then you're going to slowly come on up. So grab a pillow or a block, We'll do one more thing before we come into relaxation pose. So you're going to lay on your back and knees bent. Have your pillow or block, and then lift your hips and slide your pillow or block underneath your hips. Just something to elevate the hips slightly. We're going to stretch out the front of the hips since we kind of were folded for quite a while here. Draw your left knee into your chest. And then extend your right leg straight. Lifting it, just about an inch off the floor. It's just kind of hovering parallel to the floor. Keep reaching, reaching, reaching. And then return right leg, right foot rather, to the mat. Let's do the other side. Right knee bends in. Extend left leg long, straight, stretch, stretch. We're using the elevated hips to deepen the stretch in the front of the hip here. Reach, reach, reach. And then returning both feet to the floor. You can remove the pillow or whatever is lifting the hips. And find your Shavasana, your relaxation pose. You're welcome to lay flat. You can also use the chair if you want to rest the backs of the legs on the chair, knees bent. Find whatever posture will help you better relax and release. Letting the eyes close. And surrendering to the floor. Check in with your body and see if there's any way that you can soften a little deeper. And if you can't, that's okay too. Just letting yourself open to whatever you're experiencing. And I'll be reading the poem that we started with at the beginning of class. This poem is called Unconditional by Jennifer Wellwood. Willing to experience my aloneness, I discover connection everywhere. Turning to face my fear, I meet the warrior who lives within. Opening to my loss, I gain the embrace of the universe. Surrendering into emptiness, I find the fullness without end. Each condition I flee from pursues me. Each condition I welcome transforms me and becomes itself transformed into its radiant, jewel-like essence. So unconditionally opening to your experience right now. And just seeing if you can surrender a little more into it, surrendering a little more into the floor. Surrendering your mind a little more into the breath. Shavasana. Now beginning to deepen your breath, wiggling your fingers and toes. Remaining on the floor, roll onto your back. Take a big morning stretch like it's the first time you woke up today. How long can you get your body? Maybe even yawn. Big, big stretch. And then as you're ready, roll to one side and help yourself up with your arms, coming to a comfortable seat of your choice. If there's anyone special you'd like to dedicate your practice to today, I encourage you to visualize them now. We'll sit with our palms together in front of our heart. See their face. And imagine you could gather together all the goodness that you cultivated in class today on the inhale, and then you could send it out on the exhale to this special person or animal. As you're ready, big breath in. And then send it out. See them wherever they are, smiling, feeling good in their body, heart, and mind. Thank you so much for your practice today. Namaste.